Hello, this is Historical Fiction with Kvietoslav, and today I'd like to take a look at an author that I've talked about a little bit in the past, particularly in my video on historical fantasy, and he's actually a rather well-known writer. He was quite prolific in his time, and the author that I'd like to talk about today is Poul Andersen there. I've spoken about him before a bit there, but today I'd like to take a closer look at one of his works there. If you know of Poul Andersen, you probably know him a bit more as a writer of science fiction or fantasy, because those are the genres that he tended to write more prolifically in. Here's one, The Mermaid's Children there, which is a really nice kind of uh, historical fantasy about some Danish legends there. Poul Andersen was, I believe he was American, but he had Danish ancestry, so he had a particular interest in Danish and Scandinavian history there. I've spoken about this one in my top Viking novels there, Rolf Kraki's saga, which is based on one of the on one of the Norse sagas there. But today I'd like to speak a little bit about his historical fiction. He did actually write some books on historical fiction, and I'll talk about two of them today. The first one that I'd like to speak about here is called The Golden Slave there. And this is a straight up historical fiction work there. There's no magic or elements or anything like that. It does have a bit of mythology in it, obviously, because of its setting there. And the cover there, it's set in about 100 BC there, kind of during the Roman Republic there. And it features two kind of main characters there. A Cimbrian named Eodan there, and his kind of Roman rival there. Um, it does feature a number of other characters there, for example, Eodan's wife, and a few other characters that feature in there. Don't be thrown off by the kind of lurid cover there. It's not that type of book there, but it's a really excellent book. It's this kind of personal rivalry between this kind of Roman officer and this son of a tribal chieftain there, and kind of their back and forth as the Romans kind of press into the Cimbrian or the Germanic territories there, and kind of their back and forth. It's almost as much a kind of personal rivalry between the two. And I don't want to say too much about it because I'd encourage you to read it. It's definitely a good book and worth the read. And it does have, at least to me, one of the better kind of surprise endings. It was an ending that I really didn't see coming there. Maybe if you're, maybe I'm just not particularly sharp, but the ending was definitely made the book worthwhile there. So that's called The Golden Slave by Poul Andersen. And then there's one other one that I'd like to talk about, another very kind of lurid paperback cover there. So this one is called The Rogue Sword there. And again, the cover there is really terrible. I can imagine somebody picking this up and thinking it was a completely different type of book than what it was there. No, this book is actually straight historical fiction there, and it concerns well, the main character is a young boy, Lucas Greco there, and he's a young kind of roguish character who winds up joining this group called the Catalan Company there. Kind of in the aftermath of the Crusades, you had these kind of mercenary companies kind of making their fortunes in the Near East there, and there was a leader called Roger de Flor who this book actually begins kind of with his death, and the Catalans being kind of hired, and really shows this kind of wild world set in about I want to say about 13. I don't remember the exact dates, so I want to say about the late 300s there. We've got a nice map here, 1306 there, circa 1306. So it's kind of set in Anatolia and these areas there. The Catalan company is originally from this region, and it's got quite a lot, kind of nice, kind of political situation, and another kind of rip roaring historical fiction adventure there. So Andersen was quite good at writing these, and again, no kind of fantasy, no magic involved in that one. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of mention there that Poul Anderson, not only was he a great sci-fi writer there, but he could also spin a great tale of historical fiction as well. And these are a pair of recommends for me. If we can get your hands on them, just I was a little bit embarrassed to kind of read them in public there because of the covers there. But if you can get beyond those, they're really great kind of rip roaring historical fiction reads. So thanks for listening. Goodbye.